from Tallahassee to 1-1 for him. The chance to tie it up. He misses the front end, and here come the Longhorns.
West Virginia's going to need a concerted effort. All 5 guys are going to have to go to the defensive glass. They've been getting hammered on the boards by this bigger and stronger Texas team.
Second chance points to Jay Billis. 17-2 Texas. Aldridge. He doesn't have to be. He's not selfish at all. I mean, if he doesn't have the shot, he gets it back outside, and P.J. Tucker maneuvering inside. He has 15. The 1-2 punch, Aldridge and Tucker.
Boy, what a great move by P.J. Tucker, taking Pittsnoggle up the lane and then spinning back with a little drop step. P.J. Tucker can score on a big guy. He can take a little guy down into the post, but he's going to score at the rim.
Mountaineers of West Virginia rallying from 14 down in the first half. Took the lead at 61-58, but have been outscored 7 straight for the Longhorns to move up by 4. 4 minutes exactly left. LSU in the regional finals on Saturday here in Atlanta after the stunning upset of Duke earlier tonight, 62-54. Bear with P.J. Tucker on him. Spinning into the lane. Well done.
Well, he is so good off the dribble, even with a strong defender and a guy who's able to move his feet in P.J. Tucker. Bear able to spin away and still get that shot to go down. He is really solid off the bounce.
Tucker on the offensive end. The pass into Aldridge deflected out of bounds by Bear. And without a timeout, 3:18 to go. Precious points time now in Georgia.
.52 to play in the second. 52 to play in the second half. Gonzaga with a 55-43 lead. UCLA cut a 17-point deficit to 6 with 15:45 remaining, but the Zags have responded with a 9-3 run. And talk about some serious basketball players in attendance. That's the great Bill Russell on the left, and Big Red, the great Bill Walton on the right.
Two of the standards for big men play. And obviously 2 Hall of Famers, among the greatest college players to ever don uniforms.
Remember Bill Walton, 21 of 22 from the field against Memphis?
Oh, I remember that. I watched that film to prepare for our battle my senior year.
Yeah, you blocked his shot twice from what I heard.
Yeah. That's all right. They still beat us by 1 in Pauley.
There you go.
In Pauley. Bill's a good friend and terrific human being. And Bill Russell, what can you say? Just an idol of mine and just about any other big man who thought about playing defense and thought about winning. University of San Francisco graduate who San Francisco is the host of this Oakland Regional.
In the corner of Flalo, back in, buries a jump shot on the baseline. He has 7 points. Rivio quickly. Now Morrison off the dribble, pivots,
Should have been an offensive foul. Should have been an offensive foul as he lowered his shoulder to make room. But every once in a while, there are stretches when UCLA can play pretty good defense on Morrison. What they've got to be able to do is link the good defense on Morrison, good overall team defense, and putting together a string of successful offensive possessions.
Now foul on the other side on Knight. Fouling.
When you look at the star comparison, obviously Gonzaga getting the best of it. Morrison and Batista on top of their games, and Farmar and Aflalo really struggling. Aflalo obviously having the unenviable task of trying to guard Adam Morrison as well.
Back-to-back fouls on Knight against Aflalo. He's using his hands. And that's the 4th foul on Errol Knight. So Altidore Cespedes replaces him as Knight heads to the bench with this score.
And Aflalo's got to get used to the fact that Gonzaga's going to go aggressive against him. He's got 4 fouls. He's got to keep his emotion in check, play a disciplined brand of offense where he doesn't push off, doesn't try to create space that's not a natural creation of it, by lowering the shoulder or anything like that.
Lalo averages 16, leading scorer, has 7, lets it fly, and he'll go to the line.
This is
Barnes, who took the Longhorns 3 years ago to the Final Four, only to lose to the eventual champion, Orangeman of Syracuse. Down to 8, and Paulino pumps. Another second chance for Texas. Under 3 minutes to go, and it's Paulino from the free throw line. Trickles it home, and the Longhorns take up 4-point lead, 67-63.
That shot, another second chance opportunity for Texas. They have dominated the offensive glass. Nice curl by Gansey.
And it falls, and so does Gansey. No whistle. It's 67-65. Talk about second chance points, Jay Billis. 19-2 Texas.
Well, Texas is the stronger rebounding team, but West Virginia's initial shot defense has been pretty good. They've just given up so many offensive board opportunities to this Texas team. But how about the reads that Gansey makes play after play?
Gibson falls. They're going to call him. No, it's Paulino falls, and they're going to call that traveling. Right in front of Rick Barnes. He thought his man was knocked off his pins.
Well, he just wasn't strong with the ball. He was leaning back. They probably could have called a walk against him.
Texas, going back to the rebounding, the #1 team in the nation in rebound margin, 41-15. They've out-rebounded West Virginia tonight. 2-point game. Beeline sets up for 3 in the lead. Halfway around and out. Tigers of LSU stunning #1 seed Duke earlier, 62-54. Await the winner in the regional finals on Saturday. Into LaMarcus Aldridge. Can't get around Pittsnoggle. PJ Tucker in the lane. And that's going to be a foul on Pittsnoggle.
West Virginia just cannot keep Texas off of the offensive glass. Had to foul him to keep him from getting a stick back.
And Pittsnoggle got the worst of that exchange, belted in the nose.
Aldridge just getting down lower than Pittsnoggle. When you get down lower, you have the leverage advantage, and Pittsnoggle took one in the chops. Nothing intentional.
Might have bloodied his nose as he goes to the sidelines. Texas by 2. Down to 1:29 left. Mountaineers can ill afford to lose their leading shooter and score 19 a game. They'll try to patch him up and get him back on the court. Meanwhile, backup 7-footer Rob Summers comes in. Not nearly the threat outside. In fact, Summers in 32 games has scored only 18 points all year. Marcus Aldridge, the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year this season, the L Train, and he's looking for his 25th point of the night. To go with 12 rebounds, quite a double-double for Texas.
I'm not sure how long West Virginia can afford to have Pittsnoggle out of this ball game.
Still working on his nose, head tilted back there, trying to stop the bleeding. He has to stop that before he can return.
Need a cut man in that corner.
There's Whitey Bimstein when we need him. 68-65, and they're cleaning up the court, apparently from the bleeding of Pittsnoggle. He hasn't returned as yet. The training staff of West Virginia checking. He doesn't feel too good. No second shot now by Aldridge. A 3-point game. Look for Gansey or Beeline here from 3-point range.
You can be more aggressive with Summers in the game because he's not a three-point threat.
Collins takes it inside, a tough shot. And the rebound, Aldridge. Texas now with a three-point lead, the ball, and 1 minute to go. Fitznagel is off the bench to the scorer's table, and will be able to come here as a kick ball stops play. Summers out. Brief stint to get Fitznagel back in shape. There's his numbers tonight, 3 under his average.
John Beilein not telling his team to foul. He's going to rely upon his defense. That 1-3-1, trying to get a steal if possible.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Abrams, the freshman. Gibson outside for 3. Halfway down, and Tucker another offensive rebound.
Well, how huge was that? Now you have to foul.
And the foul, Beilein on Abrams. Let's check on Abrams' numbers from the line this year. He's only the best that Texas has missed only 6 of 47 attempts. 87%.
Fitting that it would be P.J. Tucker, one of the best offensive rebounders. Nobody puts a body on Tucker. He goes after it with both hands. But even if both these free throws were to go down, and it's a 5-point game, the way that West Virginia shoots threes, there's a lot of time left in this ballgame.
Abrams consistent all season from the line. This freshman. Only player under 6 feet for Rick Barnes, 5'10". So it's a 2-possession game, and now a 5-point lead for the Longhorns. West Virginia has to hurry. 25 seconds.
Texas cannot afford to foul here.
Good defense. Gansey finally pumps and hits. 70-68. 18 for Gansey. 14.7 seconds. Who will go to the Elite Eight?
That's how you keep the minute of foul. That's how you keep the big guys happy and keep them working. Acknowledge them a little bit.
Now we're going to ping pong you back and forth between this game and Texas, West Virginia. We'll definitely get you out to the finish. Zags up 62-51 now. Morrison.
And you see UCLA switching on the high screen now, trying to prevent the roll by Batista that's been so effective for Gonzaga, but you got to pay for it.
Adam Morrison has a pro game, 22 points. You rarely see guys with that mid-range game anymore. Flalo block, gets his own rebound, and one. Morrison flopping around, and he has frustrated Flalo this evening. But right now, let's go to Greg Gumbel.
65%.
Well, what you want to do, West Virginia wants to go for the steal immediately. If they can't get it, then they'll foul. You can't really afford to be choosy, but if you can get the ball into the hands of LaMarcus Aldridge, that would be a best-case scenario.
Ooh, almost a 5-second count, and P.J. Tucker gets a timeout barely for Rick Barnes.
Once he grabs him, now he grabs and pulls Flalo and then tries to take a flop and convince the officials that that's Flalo's 5th foul. Nice try. Didn't work, though. They're trying to see if there was a punch thrown, but, you know, obviously, if they were all watching, they would have seen exactly what happened. Flalo flung his arm to try to get Morrison off of him. Once again, take a look. Morrison grabs him and pulls it, and Flalo just tries to work his hand out of there. Absolutely no punch.
Morrison could have broken Flalo's arm.
Texas with the ball in the 2-point lead.
Have to get it into the first open person.
There's the man they want to foul, and they get it to Aldridge, and he, as we noted earlier, has the worst free throw percentage of any of the men on the court. 65% for the year and only 3 for 6 tonight. Beeline commits the foul. That's all for him. He's out with his 5th, and 14 points contributed to the West Virginia cause. Well, he has had star quality glittering on him all night long, LaMarcus Aldridge, and here he is with a chance to possibly clinch the victory for Texas. He's got 25 points, his high in his 2-year career at Texas, and 13 rebounds.
And as LaMarcus Aldridge was headed for the free throw line, Rick Barnes said something to him that made him smile, just trying to lighten the mood a little bit.
Barnes can do that, can't he?
Oh, he can lighten any room.
November 21st in Kansas City, 3.6 seconds remaining. It was Aldridge putting back an offensive rebound and then blocks a last-second Gansey layup at the other end of the court, and that sealed a Texas win, 76-75. How well matched are these two teams? And here they are in a 2-point game with the Elite Eight on the line. And that gives West Virginia hope. A 3 could tie, even if Aldridge makes this one.
And this is where a free throw blockout is a big play.
Tucker on that right side of the lane, tough to stop. He makes that 3. 71-68. Timeout, Texas. Oh my, 13.9 seconds to go.
Game or better, 13 seconds to play. We'll get you right back, but right now let's go back to Oakland. Once again, Gus and Len.
64-54, Zags with the lead. 11 points for Aaron Aflalo. He had 4 at halftime. UCLA is trailed by as many as 17. They've cut it to 6 here in the second half. They haven't been able to get any closer. Vindergraaf guarded by Mbamute. Now Rivio driving.
Virginia is such an outstanding three-point shooting team, which raises the issue at this point in the ball game. Up 3, does Texas foul if they can get it down below a certain point on the clock? I believe that if you get it below 5 seconds, it is a good strategic move to foul to keep West Virginia from hitting that 3. The problem is it's tough to get your players to realize what the clock is and what the situation is.
Bear Pittsnuggle to tie. Oh my, he hits it with 5 seconds left. Now it's Texas hurrying to the other end. Abrams, Paulino to win it. Oh! Texas wins on a last-second shot by Kenton Paulino. In the final 10 seconds, West Virginia brings the Mountaineer fans to their feet with a 3, and then this 2 that is going to be double checked by the officials, as they should, on a game deciding shot or a shot at the end of the half. Pittsnuggle ties it.
And without calling a timeout, the smart play by Rick Barnes, because he's going against a defense that's scrambling and not set. Abrams draws the defense, and Paulino, he did get it off with plenty of time. Texas wins.
Kenton Paulino, quiet offensively most of the game. Watch the clock and the light. And Paulino definitely out of the hand with about 0.8 of a second to go. In fact, ball almost going through the basket as time expired. The senior from Los Angeles, California, Kenton Paulino. He was on that Final Four team back in 2003 along with Brad Buckman. And in the clutch, he answers for the Longhorns. They win it 74-71 on the final shot. Aldridge with 26 to lead Texas. Pittsnuggle with the big 3 right at the end of the game for 19 to lead West Virginia. His average after only 6 points in the first half. A tough one to swallow for West Virginia, but what a gallant team this is, and what a fun offense. You know, John Beeline's not going to change. That's how he's coached basketball for his entire career, and He has brought excitement to Morgantown with the way these West Virginia Mountaineers play. The Chevrolet Scholarship Program players of the game: Pittsnoggle 19, Aldridge with a career high 26 to lead Texas. And so it's set. The regional final on Saturday here in Atlanta, Georgia. LSU, they took out Duke, the #1 overall seed coming into the tournament. And LSU's Tigers will meet the Texas Longhorns with a chance to go to the Final Four as we go to New York.
All right, Dick, thank you. A tough ticket home for the Mountaineers of West Virginia. They finished their season at 22-11. Meanwhile, to Oakland, Gonzaga leading UCLA by 10. Gus Johnson, Len Elmore.
Oakland, California. Gonzaga a 3 against UCLA at 2. Zags lead at 67-57. They led at one time by 17, 37-20. But UCLA came back in the second half to cut it to 6. But the Zags still pulling away. Bozeman down the lane. The teardrop with the left hand goes. The winner of this game will take on the Memphis Tigers, who defeated Bradley in our opener 80-64 behind 23 points from Rodney Carney and 18 points from Darius Washington. Memphis has played both of these teams this season. Ball blocked by Hollins, but goaltending is the call. Memphis has played both of these teams, beating Gonzaga 83-72 and UCLA 88-80.
Well, obviously that's clearly goaltending, but the story of this game is UCLA coming out like deer in headlights. Really played tentatively, couldn't have played a worse first half. Suddenly got their bearings towards the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half to make it a ball game. As you mentioned, brought it within 6, but never able to get over the psychological hump of cutting the deficit under double digits until now. Now they're starting to get the feeling.
But is it too little too late? 4:53 to go. 69-62 Gonzaga. 69-62 Gonzaga. Reset it for you. UCLA out of timeouts. Adam Morrison has an easy 22 this evening.
Well, he's taking on all comers for UCLA. They try to variety of defenders, but he's shooting 10 of 14 from the field. Only 1 of 4 from beyond the arc. That means he's gone to his mid-range and his close-in game, which shows you his versatility.
Let's see if the Zags tighten up a bit. They've led this entire ball game. UCLA creeping closer. Man-to-man now. Rabbio throws it inside for Batista.
Boy, Hollins face guarded. He didn't even see the ball. You can't play defense like that. Lucky Batista didn't walk to the basket for an easy layup.
Now Morrison hard down the lane. Rejected. Hollins in the hands. Batista, no. Knight gets up. Taken away by Bozeman. Here come the Bruins. Farmar has struggled.
Key possession, though. You got to make sure you get a good one or get fouled. Can't bail out with an easy 3. That's what Gonzaga's inviting. Even in a man.
Farmar running the pick and roll with Hollins. Hollins has been excellent for UCLA. The most consistent player on the floor. Mbamute off the dribble. The freshman.
He's gotten bumped 3 times.
No.
He's gotten bumped 3 times and no call.
69-62 as Morrison brings it up the floor.
And it's kind of disheartening when you go at the basket hard, get bumped several times, no call, and then they call that kind of stuff.
Got a point, partner. Looks a little one-sided.
So, what kind of financial help are you looking for? Maybe you need insurance to help protect you. Benefits to help your business reach new heights. Or a retirement.
UCLA out of timeouts. Bruins with 10 team fouls. Gonzaga with 6. 69-62 as you take a look at the foul trouble. 2 Bruins with 4. Knight with 4 for Gonzaga. Adam Morrison ready to go to the line, shooting 2.
I think the key numbers there are 1. UCLA is now allowed Gonzaga to shoot them double bonus. And no timeouts for UCLA. If they mount a comeback, it's going to be very tricky for Ben Howland to manage it.
Adam Morrison going to the line. He has 22 points. Is 1 of 2 at the free throw line this evening. Gets the first. And don't forget, tonight it's David Letterman. He has Sean Diddy Combs plus a special snowboarding top 10, and salsa and chips get dumped from the roof. Second free throw good. 71-62. Gonzaga with the lead. 3:25 to play in the second half. The winner to move on to take on the Memphis Tigers for a spot in the Final Four. Inside, and a foul call. This one will go, I believe, against Knight. If so, it's his 5th. And that will be it for him this evening.
I can tell you what, as UCLA has to face this 2-3 zone going forward. Nice adjustment by Gonzaga in moving Batista up. When the ball's at the top, they move Batista, who's the middle guy on that back line. They move him up closer to the free throw line whenever it looks like penetration is going to be made to try to deter that penetration. That's the only way UCLA has had any success against the 2-3 zone.
Luke Richard Mbamute gets the first.
And on the other end, of course, when Gonzaga gets possession, expect Adam Morrison to have his hands on the ball often.
Second free throw good. Sub coming in. The freshman, Darren Collison, comes in the game. The winner here, as we mentioned, takes on Memphis.
A team that both of these teams played earlier in the year and neither one beat.
Morrison double teamed in the corner. Tries to dribble out of it, leaves his feet. And the skip pass. Pargo can't hold on. Pressure paying off for the Bruins. 15 turnovers for Gonzaga.
Well, it was sudden pressure, appropriately applied. Wound up having Batista handling the ball, but here's where UCLA, again, getting over the psychological hump. Get a turnover, you've got to find a way to score.
Kick ball by Ravio. We mentioned that Memphis has defeated both of these teams. Tigers defeated Gonzaga 83-72 and UCLA 88-80 back on November 23rd. Farmar, deep three. Aflalo, rebound, has it taken away by Mallon. And Aflalo gets up slowly. Now Gonzaga will waste as much time as possible. Ravio. Morrison off the bounce, steps back, 15-footer, no.
Pretty good defense by Aflalo that time, who's playing it with 4 fouls.
Farmer to the basket, the runner. Mbamute, and the putback.
What a tremendous offensive rebounder. I told you he led the Pac-10 in offensive rebounding, but he just has a nose for the ball, commands the weak side.
2 minutes to go. UCLA fans rising to their feet. They need stops right here. Under 2, Farmar reaching in. Came close. They're trying to isolate Morrison now, and a timeout called by Gonzaga. 1:48 to play. Bruins aren't done yet. 71-66, Gonzaga with the lead. As you take a look at the reset, Zags with only 1 timeout remaining. UCLA trailed in the first half 37-20. Ben Howland did not panic. Patiently, his team has worked back into this game. Adam Morrison with a quiet 24. The winner of this game takes on Memphis for a trip to the Final Four.
Well, let's make it clear now. Both of these teams know how to win. UCLA has won 9 in a row, 14 of the last 16, and Gonzaga's coming here winning 20 straight. So they know how to win. They've come from behind, and also they've played with leads.
Ravio rebounded Batista. And Collison comes out with it. Here come the Bruins. Collison, the freshman, to the basket. Got it! And they wave it off.
The only reason that they could wave that off is if the the block came before he let it go. How can you wave that off? How can you wave that off? Player was in the act of shooting, took off when the contact was made. The only way you wave it off is if the contact was made before he went into the act and before he left the floor. At least from that angle, it looked as though he was in the act of shooting. He pulled the ball up off the dribble.
So Collison at the line. Now Pargo hands it off to Morrison. 1:24 to go.
Well, you got to make your breaks. Collison, 82% free throw shooter. He's got to knock those down.
Pargo's got a good handle on the ball as the Zags run the weave. Morrison guarded by Bozeman. Morrison fighting down the lane, in and out. Ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Gonzaga.
The last play by Collison. Here he is on the drive. Contact was made, unless it looked as though Rivio might have reached in. But even then, he had already pulled the ball up. There's just no way.
A minute to play, 71-66. Farmar turns the corner. Runner, got it! 50.2 to go. Gonzaga up 71-68. Rivio. What do you do now if you're UCLA defensively?
You got to play defense and make a stop without fouling. You got time.
And a timeout call by the Zags. 40.8 to go. 26 on the shot clock. 71-68. Double bonus, UCLA shooting 1-1. Zags with the 71-68 lead after leading big in the first half, 37-20. Adam Morrison has 24 points. Coach Howland's team, though, continues to fight. They've got to play serious defense for the next 26 seconds and try to keep this a one-possession game. They give it to the All-America, Morrison in the backcourt. And he quickly gets it over the midcourt line. Hands it off to Rivio, the point guard. They give it to Morrison, guarded by Farmar. Step back jumper deep. Off the heel. Loose ball. And a foul. On who? It will go, I believe, against Batista.
Take a look. Morrison drive to the baseline, the fadeaway. Good defense by Farmar. And there's Batista right. I didn't see a foul on that one either. I saw a pretty good block out by both guys, unless there was some hand play that undetected by the replay angle.
Not a bad man to foul. Hollins, a 60% free throw shooter. 1-1, gets the first. 71-69.
Well, the problem is UCLA, if they make or miss, they've got a foul. Instead of making a good stop and getting an opportunity to shoot the three for the tie.
Second free throw good. 71-70. So even with two made free throws, UCLA will still have a chance if they can rebound to tie this game up. Pendergraft, the inbounder on the baseline.
And the only guy that you might think of fouling is Jeremy Pargo at 69%.
They throw it to Morrison. He holds on.
Well, you don't want to foul Morrison. You make him get it over half court. You know you got to foul.
And a steal! Farmar! Inside! The freshman up! Oh, and they go in front! Rivio! Last chance to dance! Unbelievable! Oh, what a game!
Unbelievable!
What a game! UCLA! Unbelievable!
Are you kidding me?
After being down by 17, Heartbreak City.
Holy mackerel.
.6 to go. UCLA has climbed the mountain. Bozeman, Aflalo fouled with 1.9 to go. and he will shoot 2. Adam Morrison, is this it for him? After leading the entire ball game. The nation's number 2 scorer went down earlier. Now Adam Morrison, the leading scorer in the nation, needs a miracle. As Aflalo goes to the line, an 80% free throw shooter.
He's left the door open for a miracle to occur.
And they've got to put it in the hands of Morrison. Second free throw is good. Hollins comes into the game. He'll guard the ball. Pendergraft, the inbounder.
On any long pass, trying to get it to half court, you still want to go after the ball like you're a cornerback.
In the front court, Batista with the catch! And that's it! What a comeback! UCLA defeats Gonzaga 73-71 after being down by 17.
As I mentioned, you've seen so many of these shots get hit because you don't go after the ball aggressively. That time Batista still makes the catch, but not in a good position. You got to go after the ball like you're a quarterback in football. UCLA very fortunate, but then again, they earned this one. Winning basket right here. Batista kind of casual with the ball. Gets it taken away, and then look at the vision by Farmar. Finding Umba Amute. Presence of mind. You play the worst that you could play in the first half, go down 17, and you get a young team like this to show this kind of character and poise. And the flip side, you get a veteran team that falls apart at the end. Unbelievable.
And that tells a story in what could be the final game of the career of Adam Morrison. Our Chevrolet players of the game, Ryan Hollins was terrific for UCLA, and Adam Morrison, 24 points. UCLA down 71-62 with 3:27 left. They get the last 11 points of the game to win, and we have a 1 versus a 2 in Oaktown. Adam Morrison, is that the final time he plays in college? We'll see. UCLA moves on dramatically, 73-71.
Longhorns will back off now. We'll see how much clock they allow to expire if they want to foul. Air Bear into the front court. 9 seconds. 8, 7. Spins it out. The pit's not going. He'll shoot a 3 for the tie. It's good. With 5 seconds to go. Longhorns inbound. 4-second 3. Here's Abrams dribbling through traffic. Out to Paulino. A 3 at the buzzer. It's good. It's good. The Longhorns have won. Texas is going to the Elite 8. Kenton Paulino knocks it down at the buzzer. And Texas is a step away from the Final Four.
Just your typical run-of-the-mill second round night in the NCAA tournament. Welcome everyone to the road to the Final Four. Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg and Seth Davis. That was the way the Texas Longhorns advanced with the victory over West Virginia. Anytime you lose in the tournament, it's tough. But the Mountaineers thought they had just pulled even and were at worst looking at overtime.
Yeah, exactly. And then Texas did a nice job, I thought, getting the ball in bounds, knowing the clock situation, and not trying to call time out there. Push it up, see if you can get something in the open floor. And Paulino just knocked down a huge shot.
Yeah, how many times do you see coaches call a timeout in that situation and it ends up working to their disadvantage? Rick Barnes trusted his players to make the right decision. They got as good a look as you can get in that situation, and Paulino knocked down a pretty big shot.
Yeah, these are the regional semifinals, and the Texas Longhorns, the number 2 seed in the Atlanta region, have moved on to play LSU. In the Gonzaga-UCLA game, this one also came down to the wire. Final moments of the game here. Adam Morrison passes to the near side and watch the ball stripped by UCLA. And Mbamute will finally get the ball underneath and score the go-ahead bucket. UCLA scored the final 11 points of the game. The ball is tied up here. Possession arrow belongs to the Bruins. So they went to the free throw line, had 1 of 2 and a 2-point lead.
And this is the last second shot here by Batista. He got a good clean catch and a good look, but just overshot it. An improbable comeback by the Bruins, but they've done it all season long. A tough, tough loss for the Bulldogs.
You see the heartbreak for Adam Morrison. I'm sure he felt he was moving on.
Oh, yeah. You know, they obviously were in control, but you see it happen during the NCAA tournament where teams get a little too cautious down the stretch offensively, working the shot clock, and they end up not getting good shots in that situation. And how about the poise of Jordan Farmar? After getting that steal, not forcing a shot, making the right pass, UCLA pulls it out.
Now, the other 2 final scores today, Memphis Tigers moved on. They defeated Bradley by a score of 80-64, and they will meet UCLA. And in our first game of the night, the #1 overall seed in the tournament, the Duke Blue Devils, fall to LSU. The final there, 62-54. So let's set up the action for the remainder of the weekend. Tomorrow night, Friday night, #1 seed in Minneapolis, Villanova will take on 4th seed Boston College. Our next game, George Mason against Wichita State. The #2 game in Minneapolis features Georgetown against 3rd seed Florida, and then the top seed in the Washington, D.C. bracket, UConn, takes on Washington. Then on Saturday, we'll begin our day at 1 p.m. Eastern Time with the Division II Championship. Virginia Union's Panthers against the Warriors of Winona State. And then Clark, Seth, and I will be by with the road to the Final Four at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, noon on the West Coast. And then, who goes to the Final Four? Out of Atlanta, it'll be LSU against Texas. Tip time, 4:40 Eastern Time. And then at 7:05 Eastern, out of Oakland, UCLA will meet Memphis. We remind you, tune in to NCAA March Madness highlights next on CSTV for all the highlights and stories from every game. Tonight on The Late Show, Dave has Sean Diddy Combs, plus a special snowboarding top 10, and salsa and chips get dumped from the roof. Late Show, followed by Craig Ferguson here on CBS after your local news. On the field of 65, we're down to 12 survivors. We'll eliminate 4 more tomorrow night. We'll see you then. For Clark, for Seth, for all of us here at CBS Sports, I'm Greg Gumbel. Good night, everyone.